You're listening to the International Community Radio Network.
Yeah, this is Detlev here of Wake News Radio, Wake News TV in our UNITEDWESTRIKE Radio-Marathon. And I'm welcoming everybody now for the English-speaking part. Remember, we have our UNITEDWESTRIKE Radio-Marathon since quite a few years. And since, let's say, the last 3 years at least, every second Saturday of a month. And we are going around the world with our program with fantastic hosts and fantastic guests. Yes, and I usually do start the UNITEDWESTRIKE Radio Marathon in German in the first couple of hours. And we had a very interesting topic, obviously, as usual. And that was about the secret societies, the leaders who are operating in the shadow, in the dark, who are not being discovered by the common not purple, but people, of course, common people. And so we had a fantastic guest here with us who has written a book in German about this, coming from Austria. It's Michael Veritas, and he's written a book. It's called Veritas, and it is absolutely stunning, but it's unfortunately it's only available in English for the time being. Okay, and I'm listening here. He is present. He will be joining us here for the next 25 minutes for my English-speaking part, before we go to the next section. Okay, and I will be producing the show until we will be handing over the production over to Ireland to my colleague Alan from OYM Radio. Well, if you're interested in the program and in later on in the archives or podcasts of the show, you will be able to listen to them if you visit our website, UNITEDWESTRIKE.com. And for the German-speaking part, I shall be uploading a video later on, most probably tomorrow, because I'm still busy producing. So be a little patient, please. Okay, usually I do make my shows in German Tuesdays and Thursdays between 4 and 6 p.m. Local time, Central European time. Usually also in the first part of my English transmission here, broadcasting, I have a summary made of the first couple of hours. Obviously, it is a little difficult to put the whole content of 2 hours within 20 minutes, but we can do it. Yes, and thus I have also a website, a blog, where you can follow the information, the links, and the images which we were discussing during the show. This is mywakeness.wordpress.com. You find there the German-speaking information, also to our guest, Michael Veritas from Austria. And you also find the link to our UNITEDWESTRIKE.com blog site. And today's title is Lucifer's Army Destroys the World. And if you click that blog menu on Detlev's blog, you will find my part, which is written there. And I have written there, Lucifer's army is destroying the world. Today we are facing the facts. Incredible tyranny has spread over the whole world and has changed it dramatically. And we do live in the end times, as one may say. Well, there's something's in the air. Those of you who do believe in spiritual life will agree. We may face the grand battle of evil versus good in our lifetime now. And in the German-speaking part, as I said early on, of this UNITEDWESTRIKE Radio Marathon, I interviewed Michael Veritas from Austria as my guest, and he has just published a book on Freemasonry, well packed into a novel book, which you can read only in German, unfortunately for the time being, with a lot of suspense. And this is called Heredis, Heredis, The Inheritance, which will talk about this topic as well as his other full-scale knowledge of symbolism, occult, satanic rituals, and more. Yes, and I'll try to give you a little input and overview about the topic, and later on during the English-speaking part here, we will also talk about what is going on in the world, especially with this new incredible terror movement called ISIS in Iraq and Syria and more. So please stay in, tune in, stay on, whether you're listening now from the German-speaking part, and join us here in our UNITEDWESTRIKE Radio-Marathon. Yeah, Michael, you are there? Can
Yes.
you listen to me? Yes. I mean, you do speak English. It is not your common language, obviously.
Yes.
And you're most probably not used to talk in English that much, but I asked you to stay on because we may have one or the other questions to you as well.
With pleasure, Detlev.
Okay, so I just sort of introduced our English-speaking audience, or the audience which still is listening from our first parts here in the German, in the 2 hours in German, where we were discussing basically the real life which takes place, and the real life which takes place in hiding, in hidden form, or in darkness, if you can say that. Or some people say all the public figures like politicians or managers of great and global corporations basically are just the puppets, and somebody is pulling the strings in the back, and those are the ones which are organized in secret societies like Freemasonry and others. And we were discussing this, and yes, and maybe you can elaborate a little bit from your book, if you can. You chose the form to show people the backgrounds of this secrecy by taking a novel with suspense in order for common readers to get into the matter and enjoy the book, enjoying the book, not being depressed in the first minute by just sort of facing the facts. Now, why did you do that? I mean, I can imagine in Austria there are lots of secret societies as well as all over the world. Is that correct?
Yes, there are many of occult groups and night orders.
Yeah.
And they are doing the same things as the occult groups do in America and do in Germany. It is an occult agenda which is for the common world, for our planet, and it is satanic, and it is based on the Freemasons. It is the Bilderberg group, of course. It includes presidents and ministers and, of course, church members or high church members, and it is real.
Yeah, and the basis or the basic ideas for the New World Order basically come out of those secret societies, because they want to build their own world, reducing the numbers of humans on Earth in order to better control them, to better use them, right? Because they are using humans, aren't they? Are they humans really? Are they humans themselves? What's your opinion on that?
This is a difficult question, and I cannot prove it. I do not know if they are humans, or some authors say that they are reptilians.
Yeah.
Probably, but what they do is not what a human should do.
Right. They're basically acting inhuman, though they are propagating human rights and things like that. They are organized in the UN, the United Nations organizations, who also include humanity organizations and so forth. But they're not really, they're just talking about it, maybe using up a lot of money and budgets and resources on that, but they're not really implementing those ideas for the common man, right?
Right. This is the great deception.
Yes.
Everybody thinks that they are acting like humanity people and charity people, but what they do is not human. It is cruel. It depends on war and killing and on hunger and profit.
Right. Yeah, and the deception is something which is hard to swallow, really.
Yes.
But you explained this pretty well, because you said the idea of secret societies, especially the Freemasons, is expressed well in the double-headed eagle, which they're using since ages, right?
Right.
So the double-headed eagle basically expresses what?
It depresses an agenda which acts on the good side as on the bad side. They are using two powers, the good power and the bad power. And for those people, it is not relevant if they use the good or the bad power. They use power for themselves.
Right. But this is a very good expression, because they just don't care wherever they get their power from. So they're just using whatever comes along, the good ones and the bad ones. So
yes,
they're just picking whatever they like, right? And that makes it difficult for many people who are basically good to understand why there's so much bad things happening in the world, right?
Yes, they are following an agenda. And this agenda is for the whole world.
Yes, and this is basically ending in sort of this new world order government, right?
Yes, you can call it the Fourth Reich. You can call it the New World Order. It is slavery. It is a state of slavery for the whole world.
Yes. And what do you think? Who was the origin of this idea? I mean, who basically developed this idea of a new world order in this, or the Fourth Reich? Who would be the one to blame for?
Somebody says it was Adam Weishaupt from Bavaria with his Illuminati, and this agenda, which was made from Adam Weishaupt, is today to see in the Skull and Bones order, in the Bilderberg Group, in Freemasonry, in the Council on Foreign Relations, and the Trilateral Commission, and all these groups who are ruling the world.
Yes. Well, there are obviously also people who believe that Adam Weishaupt was just a puppet as well. I mean, he may have been a secretary, or maybe he's been also contributing to basic ideas, but there are people who are believing there's a lot more to it. I mean, maybe even non-human ideas which are being expressed, because if you want to reduce the number of humans, basically you're saying, well, let's get rid of humans, right?
Yes,
and who would decide to get rid of humans? That you could get the idea that those are beings who are not human, right? I mean,
yes.
this is what people think. I mean, it may not be the truth, but it is also stunning. I wouldn't believe that it's just one man. I mean, just like Adam Weishaupt, he may have been an important figure for the time, but we also know that Adam Weishaupt was financed by other groups like the Rothschilds and whoever was around at that time.
But the fact is that the humanity for such groups has no value.
Yeah, that's right. We agree. We can agree upon this absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is it's interesting information, but on the other hand, I mean, you really are getting frightened, because if you are a human and you know you are going to be eliminated or killed or whatever, this is not a nice idea, is it?
Correct. And if you are a soldier and you have to go to an conflict state, to Iran, to Libya, etc., etc., why are you doing this? You can stop that. You can stay at home. You don't have to shoot on other people's, on children, or etc., etc. Why are you doing this? You are the captain of your life, of your soul, and you can rule yourself, and you can act like a human.
Yes, and this has a lot to do with the awakening process. I mean, there may be people around who are by nature cruel or want to have power over others, or who like to kill. But
Yes.
most of them are just not awoken. They are not awake to the fact that they are being manipulated or mind controlled by others to do so, and that this is not right to kill other people. Right? Is that what you think?
Yes, of course. And I hope that the people who want to kill other people are the minority.
Yes. Yes, I think so too. And then there have been lots of veterans here also from the U.S. Military who returned from Afghanistan or Iraq and so forth recently, who have admitted that they were misled in their duties they had to fulfill, that in their killings and cruelties they had to do. And after they returned, they had a great,
psychic ability, ability.
Yeah, right. So they were really depressed, and some of them really turned around and started to educate other people about what they found out, and threw away all their military what's the name of that military I don't remember the name. Well, anyways, their signs and so forth, they threw it away because they just couldn't bear it anymore, and they are absolutely for peace now.
I hope so. They return to the USA with the Gulf War syndrome, and they are depressed, they are frightened, they have nightmares, and then they can ask for themselves, what have I done? Why have I done this?
Yeah. Well, this is a terrible experience. I don't know whether I could live with that. I mean, knowing to have killed other people.
Yes.
It's a terrible thing.
Of course.
And even and first of all, I mean, it is one thing to think or believe that you are servicing a country, your nation, in order to protect it from somebody who's trying to attack your country. But once you find out this is all about money or power, and that's the only reason for it, that is terrible, isn't it?
It is so.
Yeah. Now, let us join your ideas. And how did you get to your book and to your findings? How did you get to the point to examine the whole topic of Freemasonry and symbols and so forth? How did you get to your book? Was it because of an idea, or was it because of research you've done, or what was the reason for writing the book?
Yeah, when I was a child, I read about the UFOs, the ghosts, and phenomenons, and this brought me to the topic of the secret societies, of the Freemasons, and the political occult agendas. And then I thought for myself, what can you do with this knowledge? And then I started to research for a book to inform the rest of the people, and I decided to write a novel, because then somebody could say, okay, it was an attractive and thrilling novel, and I know what goes on the world. Or he researches too. He researches more, and he wakes up at the end.
Yeah. We are already through with our half an hour sort of summary.
Yeah,
it's a little time. But we've got our next host. He's coming on. So thank you very much for your endurance here for this difficult English summary of 2 hours in German. Yeah. And I do thank you very much, Michael. And thanks a lot. We will be quickly having a jingle and a little bit of music while I'm pulling in Neil Foster, who's now on with his part of the show. So thanks a lot again. And we'll hopefully meet again and talk after the show. Thanks a lot, yes. Michael.
Thank you, Detlev.
Okay. See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
IC Radio Network and UWS strongly promote the use of grassroots patriot music. Please drop us a line and we'll play your music.